Call the March 6, 2017 Board of Commissioners meeting to order. We'll do the invocation and pledge by Commissioner Council.
Stand with me, please, for a brief invocation. Heavenly Father, we gathered this morning to conduct the business of the county. Help us to remember that you, above all, help us make our decisions, and that working together as a board, we will be stronger. We appreciate all that you have done for us. We appreciate the care that you give to our first responders. We appreciate all of your blessings all of the time. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'd like to welcome everyone to our meeting this morning. We're going to start off with some outstanding people that we're going to recognize, and the recognition of some retired Cumberland County employees. We're going to start with Mr. Robert Flores, Cumberland County Sheriff's Office. I call upon Commissioner Larry Lancaster.
Robert, congratulations. Boy.
You need a step stool.
Hey, Jimmy, you two right here, they got into a contest last week about who was going to outrun this one and who.
Your money on me, right?
It'd been a short contest.
The winner of your contest gets this guy. Yeah. Hey, what a pleasure. What a pleasure. Robert Flores. Robert retired from the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office. And Robert, it's my pleasure, not only for you being a part of what we think is the best department in the state of North Carolina, but in recognition of outstanding service to the citizens of Cumberland County. July the 24th of 1995 to January the 1st, 2017, from the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners, this day, March 6, 2017. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm glad I never got to He said he's changed his mind. And as large as he is, he can do anything he wants to do. So, you have a few words?
Just a few.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure and an honor to work for the people of the great county of North Carolina, and I'm glad my lieutenant made it. One of the best lieutenants in Cumberland County right there. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to work for the best sheriff of the state, Earl Butler. I was very thankful to working for that man. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Robert, appreciate service.
There's some members from the Sheriff's Department, so we'd ask them to come on up and get a picture with us. Stand in front of Mr. Evans, because you're taller than his face. You can't be blocking me out.
Hey, he did it.
I like what he did.
He did it on purpose. Stood right in front of me.
Thank you.
I ain't gonna smile.
Thank you all.
Mr. Chairman, I think you and I hope we're the only two that have seen him when he's actually on duty.
That's right.
Because if the rest of them have seen him, he's in charge of jail transportation and getting people over here and back in a timely manner, and they'll never be able to replace that smooth. He was smooth as it is.
Our next retired Cumberland County employee, Ms. Linda Morrison with the Cumberland County Animal Control. I'll call on Commissioner Charles Evans for this recognition.
You know, we don't have to worry about nobody standing in front of us to take this picture. We're gonna take a beautiful picture, okay? This is presented to Linda Morrison, Cumberland County Animal Control. In recognition of outstanding service to the citizens of Cumberland County, August 16th, 1985. August 16th, 1985 through January 1st, 2017. From the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners, dated March 6, 2017. Congratulations. One second.
Just thank you to everybody in Cumberland County, County Management. Amy, really appreciate you. Dr. Lobby, you're my number one, better say number two man. Since my number one sitting beside you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bring up number one.
Dr. Lobby,
Bring up number two. Number one.
number one, number two.
God bless you. Congratulations.
Who's number one, who's number two?
Good choice of words.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
So Glenn, it's okay she stood in front of you?
Yeah, okay, I said that. So,
Y'all full of it.
if you can't have fun doing this. And I'll tell you, our employees are leaving us. We'll call on Ms. Carol St. Louis from the Cumberland County Finance Office for recognition. And I'll call up Commissioner Fairclough, who is head of the Finance Committee, to do this recognition.
No way.
Oh, my gracious.
Okay, this one don't give me any pleasure whatsoever, because this is somebody I have known a long time, and y'all have too. But let me just read what's on here. Presented to Carol St. Louis, Cumberland County Finance, in recognition of outstanding service to the citizens of Cumberland County. Now get this, from February 1, 1977.
77.
I got shoes almost out. To January 1, 2017. Why didn't you make it to February? What's the deal? Okay, anyway. From the Cumberland County Commissioners on this March 6, 2017. Carol, thank you. We salute you. We're going to miss you. You have the mic.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Amy, Melissa, Vicki. My family's here, my finance department family, the best department in the county to work for. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
They waived the employment age.
You get me in?
All you finance guys, come on up.
I do.
Melissa.
I think we can get everybody on.
Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all come right on in the well.
Thank you. I know.
Hey, how you?
Good to see you. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Michael.
Right on up in here. Y'all come on, this is us, man.
Come over here, stand up.
Come right on up here. Come right on in here. Right here. Right, come on in. Y'all gotta move this. Right here. Just a little bit, right there. Thank you all. Thank you, Finance. Didn't we do that? We didn't do a picture with Dr. Yeah, because she's still right in front of me. Yeah, we did.
Okay, I didn't see him. Okay.
Yeah, they came up, right here. Right here. Can't see. I call on the county manager for any changes to the agenda.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I would respectfully ask to remove item 2C. This is regarding the chiller for the Law Enforcement Center, and I would like to have some discussion, provide some information at the Finance Committee meeting that is this Thursday, the 9th, and then move the item to your March 20th agenda, please. That's item 2C. Also, Mr. Chairman, I would recommend removing item 2F, the resolution regarding Shaw Heights. And then item number 3, I'd also like to remove from the agenda. Mr. Vivek Tandem had planned to be here, but he had an interruption in his schedule, and we'll bring that back to another date, sir.
Okay, with those changes, I will move for approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
The consent agenda, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda besides the C and F that were already removed? If not, I'll take a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second as to approval of consent agenda. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
That takes us to number 4, Madam
Yes, sir.
Manager.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask our Assistant County Manager, Mr. Jackson, to introduce this item, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Good morning.
We have before you an item that relates to Fort Bragg and a regional land use study that is done periodically throughout the years. This is not something that's unusual or unheard of when it comes to looking at the military installation and the different uses of planning and zoning and land around the installation. This is a multi-county study. And joining us this morning is Mr. Jason Epley with Benchmark Planning. He's the president of that group, and he is the consultant, the lead consultant, that will be doing the kickoff and explaining all the intricacies and everything that goes into the actual study. So without further ado, I'll introduce Mr. Epley.
Appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's a pleasure to be before you today, and thank you for your time. Once again, I'm Jason Epley. I'm the president of Benchmark Planning, based in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have a national planning practice serving clients across the country. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about the Joint Land Use Study. I'm here on behalf of the Regional Land Use Advisory Commission that you're a member of. 2 of the board members are here with me today, Glenn Perelman and Michael Lynch. I'd like to recognize both of them. What is a Joint Land Use Study? We'll just jump right into it. It's a study funded by the Department of Defense, Office of Economic Adjustment, and the purpose of the study is to help communities across the country develop good working relationships with their military installations to plan for compatible growth and the long-term sustainment of the military training mission. As Mr. Jackson had mentioned, there have been 130 joint land use studies completed across the country. 4 of those have been completed here at Fort Bragg, 1991, 2003, 2008, and this particular study as well. In 91, it was one of the most significant studies in the country. In 2003, it was also a major update. Actually worked on that particular joint land use study. And in 2008, that was a brief update, and this one will be what we call a major update to the joint land use study. The primary purpose and goals, as I had mentioned previously, is to identify and mitigate any barriers to the long-term sustainment of the military training mission. One of the other goals, and I'll flip to a slide here, is to look at land use compatibility, and that's really the meat and potatoes of the study, where we look at all the influences from the communities, and then also training impacts from the installations. And you can see the various things that we'll look at here, alternative energy resources, noise generated, endangered species, population, commercial development. These are things that you've been familiar with in your daily land use planning activities in the county, but this is being conducted on a regional basis here. Another purpose is to strengthen the coordination and cooperation between the communities and Fort Bragg. You are a member of the Regional Land Use Advisory Commission, and that has maintained a great relationship with the installation over the years, and in fact, it's a national model. And then finally, raise public awareness and understanding, which is why we're here at this meeting today. The study area consists of obviously Cumberland County, Hope County, Harnett, Moore, Richmond, and Scotland, and you see the various cities and towns that are within this 5-mile focus area. And this 5-mile area pertains to the legislative actions that were taken back in the mid-2000s that encouraged communities, actually required communities to submit zoning and subdivision changes to the installation that were within 5 miles of the boundary. And here's what that boundary looks like. It's distorted a little bit here, but at least gives you a little bit of an idea of how broad and extensive the study area is. Where we're at in the process, we're working with a policy committee, and the policy committee consists of the executive board of the Regional Land Use Advisory Commission. So we have representatives from across all 6 counties that are part of this policy committee. And then the technical committee also consists of members from across the region, planners, managers, officials from Fort Bragg. So it's a whole group of folks, from across the region. The policy committee is roughly about 12 to 15 members, and the technical committee is over 40. To date, we've conducted stakeholder meetings in January and February. We've met with members of the communities, once again, in all 6 counties. And just last month, we spent 2 days out at Fort Bragg interviewing military officials there, because as you know, one of the most important parts of the study is not only understanding what's going on in the communities in terms of growth, but what's going on at Fort Bragg so that we can understand the training mission as we move forward with the recommendations. There have been 3 rounds of public presentations that we'll be giving throughout the process. This is number 1, the kickoff presentation. We have 1 more to make in Richmond County tomorrow, and then we'll have completed the kickoff presentations. Task 2 is looking at all the existing conditions. Once again, this is a significant amount of information from across the area. We'll be updating the regional GIS database, and all of this will be completed with a report sometime in May of this year. Task 3, as I mentioned before, this is the meat and potatoes of the study. We're really going to be looking at land development patterns from across the region, looking at the military training mission, and identifying where there's compatibility or incompatibility. These findings will be presented in September later this year, October timeframe. Task 4, and that really goes along with Task 5. We'll be working on those, about the same time, working on the draft study and the implementation plan. That will be presented back to the public in March of 2018. And then we'll have the final plan hopefully completed by June of 2018. The consulting team, I had mentioned Benchmark, my firm, we're primarily involved in comprehensive planning, land use planning, as I had mentioned. White and Smith is our legal partner that we work on these studies with. We most recently completed a study at Fort Hood, Texas, and also Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina. And Marcel Day is our partner on this study, helping us with understand environmental issues related to the joint land use study. Jim Doherty could not be here with us today. He is the Executive Director of the Regional Land Use Advisory Commission. I'm sure many of you know Jim. If you don't, I'm surprised. Jim can be reached. Here's his contact information. Certainly, if you have any questions, I can answer those. We have 2 board members here with us today, and be happy to answer any questions you have, but thank you for your time to raise awareness of the study.
Commissioner Keefe.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and letting us know what's going on.
Obviously, the impact area is huge. I mean, when you start looking at a 5-mile boundary around, you're taking in some places, lots of counties. We had a report back 6 months ago from the state folks talking about it, and they came in and said that that Fort Bragg may be interested in bringing in their fences a little bit to be a more tight, which I thought was kind of odd. Is there any correlation with you guys and the state on any of this discussion?
The state of North Carolina is a partner. In fact, the Department of Commerce has a board member that's part of the study. I have not been made aware of any such move like that. That's news to me.
Meeting, yeah.
But that's something that has not been brought to my attention. But
Obviously, with the event of Highway 295, a lot of the things that you're talking about now with airspace and development and those things have been addressed. What is some of the expectations we should be looking at coming out of this study?
well, one of the primary things we'll be doing is looking at where there's compatible growth and development in areas where there's not compatible growth. So, like, for example, we're going to be looking at some of the new things would be the Gray Eagle operations. How does that impact? And that's mostly, in the western part of the region, not affecting Cumberland County, but looking at the runways, looking at takeoff patterns, seeing what type of incompatible issues may be existing in Cumberland County. So some of the recommendations mostly pertain to how you're using the land, how you're communicating and coordinating with Fort Bragg. One thing in particular, within that 5-mile area, all counties and cities submit their subdivision and zoning cases for review by the Regional Land Use Advisory Commission. Well, we're going to take a little closer look at that and see what's actually been the outcome of those recommendations from that group. Those are voluntary recommendations that come back to your planning board, come back to you as county commissioners, anytime there's land development near Fort Bragg. So we want to be sure that the recommendations and that process is being followed, and we want to see what the outcome has been. Has the mission been supported and sustained by the recommendations that have come from land use decisions? Has it not? Are there areas that's been successful? Maybe some areas where it's just not been successful. So those are some of the things that we'll look at.
Okay.
Mouth's getting dry, sorry.
Commissioner Booth.
Yeah, has this same presentation or one like it been made to the city council?
The Board of Directors requested, it was not in our scope of work, but the Board of Directors requested that we make a presentation to the city of Fayetteville, and we've requested that opportunity, but we have not yet scheduled a date to do that.
Because when you start talking about landing patterns and, things to do with the Air Force and stuff, not Air Force, but air capability out there, they're about to do something with their airport. And if you're going to get anything in there that may be beneficial to part of their plan, sooner is probably better.
And just to clarify, we have met with City of Fayetteville officials, Planning Department, and others within the City of Fayetteville. So we're definitely aware of that. And I believe one of our team members either has interviewed folks at the airport or will be. It's definitely on our list. I had mentioned earlier in the slide the 80 stakeholders that we've interviewed. Those include, planners across the region, folks with utilities, environmental groups, DOT. So certainly, I'll double check to make sure that occurred, and if it hasn't, we'll definitely follow up with the airport.
They're scheduling in excess of $30 million of upgrades or a new building or something to do with the airport. So if there's any tweaking before the concrete's laid, probably a good time.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that,
Yeah.
and we'll definitely follow up on that.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions or comments, commissioners? If not, thank you, Mr. Epley. We look forward to receiving the report, and any questions you have for us, please don't hesitate to contact us. We'd like to thank the two board members for coming this morning. Thank you so very much. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, and don't hesitate to contact us as well. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 5 is nominations to boards and committees.
All right, Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee, Commissioner Council.
I'd like to nominate Nicole Cunningham
Any other nominations?
and Brenda MacArthur Strong.
Okay, went to the adult,
No, I got
That-
it mixed up.
yeah.
Nicole Cunningham, I'm sorry.
for the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee?
That's right.
Okay. Any other nominations? Nursing Home Advisory Board, 2 vacancies.
Now, that's where I'd like to nominate,
Yes, Commissioner Council.
Nicole, Niokie Cunningham, and Brenda MacArthur Strong.
Any other nominations? If not, we'll go to the appointment to boards and commissions. I call on Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Being that there's 2 vacancies and 2 nominees, I hereby move that we reappoint Shelley Bryant, Cindy Jackson Collins to at-large positions on the Animal Control Board.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
All right. We're going to go upstairs, so I'd like to call for a motion to recess the Board of Commissioners meeting to room 564.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved in second, and we're going to recess to room 564. About how much time you all need? It's 9:25 now? 9:35?